July 29th, 2024. Candace, education.
Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. We ask that you guide the council to make the best decisions for the community with this budget for the upcoming year. Keep the community safe. Help our nation, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. I say it every morning when I wake up.
You gonna do it, me?
You're up.
Okay, everybody. So you can have fun with the rest of us. This is just some tentative numbers we have out there. Got your summary on the first page. Income, what we expect following that. Financial and administrative expenses. That's listed on the top of each one. Fire department, street, recreation, city hall, water sewer, and then payroll. And I don't know how much time anyone's had to review them, but this is assuming, and the ad valorem tax amount is actually like I didn't change that, I just saw it, 4.6. It's whatever the rollback rate is. If y'all agree to accept that for the year, you'll have, that's part of the upcoming meetings that we'll have. But that number is, 135. Ma'am,
I thought we had 4.9 here.
that was last year's.
Okay. Oh.
This year, the rollback rate was like 4.61 or something like that. And it still put us, because of course everybody's property taxes go up, so it still put us at more than we collected last year using the rollback number, which is less than last year. So that way we're definitely not increasing the millage rates for any citizens. That obviously that number is 100% based on what council wants to do, but this is just how I figured the numbers. And that would come to 135,540. This right here is a zero, we're zeroed out, balanced. There's some extra money in water sewer if we need to move money around. That's where I put the extra money.
In water and sewer?
In water and sewer if we needed to move something around. Under income, we might have done it under city hall. Let me look here. Estimated, I know y'all haven't voted on it. I just put $1,000 a month rent for the gym in there for an estimated amount, because that would be the property tax we'll have to pay, the commercial rental tax that we would have to, sales tax we would have to pay.
Do you know how many square foot that building is?
It's like 32 or 3,400 square feet. It's very large.
Yeah.
An estimate on what the power is, you know, so that number is all included in that $1,000.
So how much revenue will we get from that?
Probably $550, depending on what the power runs. But he doesn't have central air and heat in there, so he has the fans and those two little portable units. But like I said, I just threw that number in there. That's 100% for you guys.
Y'all got to,
Oh yeah.
y'all got to deal with ARPA, not tonight, but before the end of this calendar year, you'll have to have that money allocated.
And we put 62,400 of the ARPA money into the fire department as for this year because of agreeing to hire the temporary part-time workers. That number is based on 40 hours a week times 2, so 80 hours a week for 1 year at a 1099 pay. and he has 12 applicants for that so far.
You
But
can-
it'll take that many to,
You can also
Not that
use,
they'll all be there at the same time.
no, that, right, but that's just to cover all the shifts.
you can also use the ARPA funds to reimburse for, like public works, salaries,
Which is
or
what,
staff salaries.
yeah, that's what we did this past week.
Just to get it spent down.
So that number is including ARPA, which 62,400 is obligated for the fire department, for those employees. There's things I'm sure y'all will wanna change, but you just gotta tell me what they are so I can move them around. Oh, a very important part of that is the adjustment to how we do payroll. Right now, the Public Works Department, wastewater treat, all our outside staff, I'm gonna say it wrong, gets a per call out rate every time they get a call out. It's a mandatory 2 hours for callback pay plus their time. So, if they get 5 calls a night, that's 10 hours that they're getting paid, plus their time. So we looked at doing, and that's gonna be your last sheet there. There were some options in that, but what we looked at doing was, a $35 on-call rate per night for whoever's on call. If they get 1 call, 0 calls, or 10 calls, it's $35 for being on call. And then whatever if they work 2 hours, 4 hours, or 10 minutes, they go in, clock in at the plant.
So you're saying they're only gonna get $35?
No, they will get that plus the time they actually spent on the call.
Instead of 2 hours answering the phone,
I see what you're
and
saying.
then.
Yeah. Cause say they got 5, say it was one of the employees that gets $14 an hour. The minimum amount that we pay if he gets 1 phone call is $28 plus his time. So if he gets 4 calls on a Saturday, when he's on call on that Saturday, then it's 28 times 4 plus his time. So if they divide it up and each person takes the phone a different night, and we have a phone just for that because Mr. Gary doesn't use the mayor phone, so they can use that phone number, then it's $35 plus whatever their time is.
How many people on
1 person a day,
people on call outs?
1 person a day, yeah.
They rotate it.
Who rotates? Jason and that other boy, what's his name?
All
Chad.
4 hours.
Jason, Rusty, Logan, and
Why would you
and
rotate?
Chad.
Why would you rotate Jason and that?
I'm sorry, I don't
The
understand.
only one supposed to be on the call out is Jason.
No.
He can't be on call at all time.
Well, first of all, he's the head of the department, and second of all, he's
Right.
the
Right.
highest paid.
He's the one supposed to be on call out.
Oh, no, it doesn't work that way. They rotate it. If you've got anyone on call out, then the overtime is gonna be
You got
astronomical.
a young boy out there, I mean, you get him on the back or something, everyone he bangs, I mean, what you gonna do then? You gonna have a lot of call out.
Well, basically what they've been doing is if it's something that they need help on, then they call somebody else in.
They've been doing a lot.
But Jason probably would never be home if he was off.
In the long run, you'll be better off with $35 a day.
It's actually gonna knock what we paid, at the end of this year, what we have paid out and estimated for the next 2 months is gonna be around 393,000. And doing it this way, it'll be around 357.
So it's roughly saving $40,000 just by doing
Mm-hmm.
They say on call out, some poor.
And that's with the current pay, that's no, raise increase. I did check, and the $15 an hour is September 30th of 2026. So by 2020, the end of our fiscal year 2026, you have to be, the lowest person can be paid $15 an hour. But y'all, so y'all have time on that.
Goes up in yearly increments. Does it go up in yearly increments?
Every September.
Yes, sir, it has to, we have to reach the $15 by September 30th, 2026.
Yeah, but-
And the city has been going up,
Okay.
yeah. So our lowest person is 14 right now.
So it's not gonna be hard to make the 15.
So you have almost
years.
two,
2
pretty much
years.
2 years to increase. Oh, so Jason is not here because, over near Josh's house, there was a water line break and he was working on that.
That's always gonna come up. On this, are we just in agreement on, or will we pass it, and then if it's passed?
No, we're not having a
That's
hearing yet. This is just whatever numbers y'all feel like we should
I'm
change or
talking about the
whatever.
$35 and the policies that we're setting for.
This was just noticed as a workshop, right? Yeah, we can't take a vote.
Yeah, it's gone.
But what my question is it gonna, it's gonna have to be voted on,
No,
Yes,
separate from us just approving this budget?
correct.
Okay, that's what I wanna make sure, so remember that.
So does anybody have anything they want me to change, add in? I know y'all talked about the gym, and there was other, locations that are getting used in the city on property. I didn't add anything in except for the gym.
We have to add something for the other place too. We need to come to some kind of conclusion, how much we're gonna charge. Do we pay the electric bill over there too?
It's around $25 a month. I don't think they do anything but store
Yeah.
stuff there. If you do charge, though, we're gonna have to pay the property tax on it and the commercial tax fee. So
Can you find out how much that's gonna be like with the other?
I had emailed them, I just hadn't heard back on that one yet.
Because we don't have time to come up with a number to add to this.
Yeah.
Before we approve it. But we need to know, she knows what the expenses are gonna be out there, but we need to know what they're gonna be here before we try to set it, but we do need to set something.
We need to come to something. But you say you didn't hear from
Not yet, so I'll probably know by the end of the week.
the workshop?
So our next regular workshop is Monday, and we don't really have anything unless y'all tell me, so we can come back with new numbers on that day and kind of pin this down, and then we'll be ready to go forward. Cause the whole trim thing with Department of Revenue makes me nervous, so.
So we set a budget workshop and then a regular workshop, even though we don't have
Well,
anything at the moment?
you can do it at the same time, because the budget workshop doesn't have to be advertised the same as a budget hearing.
Okay. Okay. Something to be thinking about while we're talking about setting a price for the other building that's being utilized.
The weight room?
Where the old water tower used to
No, not that, but the old fire department.
be.
Okay.
It's being used, basically the same
Yeah.
deal was done, but there's not been a lot of improvements, and there's been no money, and it's been over 2 years. So we need to set that at the same time. And also, I want you guys to keep in mind that, and Zumba was here before I came on, and I'm just now getting the actual specs on what that entails. That community center is being used, the main part of the community center is being used twice a week. And the air conditioner's running wide open. And there is no rental, it's not being rented out like other people rent out the community center. It's being, donations are being paid quarterly. There's only 7 to 10 people, it's my understanding, that are going. I don't want to be ugly, but we're servants of the city
Yeah.
and the citizens, and first of all, it's not fair that our citizens have to pay $200 a day to rent the building. And this is a for-profit, although the person can't be making that much, but still, it's not covering the lights, what's being paid for the usage. So,
Could you do like a membership where people want to use it just like the gym?
And it's always, well, it's pinned down too, because
well,
the
here's,
days they have it, they don't want, if we try to rent it, you understand what I'm saying?
yeah, and Josh, back to what you were saying,
The people who want to use it would just have to have a membership with the city or something to use the community.
well,
center.
there's one specific woman that's running it as a for-profit, and she's charging them a certain amount. And
I
then
think
she's
they
paying
give
us.
donations too, so she doesn't know how much she's gonna get either.
So the point is that if she's given $80 or $90 or $200 in a 3-month period,
Yeah.
we're renting this building per day for $200 with the cleaning fee back. So it's, the city's losing money just in the power bill out there for them to utilize it the way they are now. I can't see her wanting to pay $200 a day to use it because she's not making that. But the alternative is we either keep losing money out there, or we're gonna have to discuss it at a workshop or something, how to approach it. Maybe she needs to find somewhere else to do it.
It's not kosher for the citizens of Vernon to be paying their power bill.
That's what I'm saying. It's just not feasible. And how much did you get the last quarter?
I think we added it up, it was around $80 or $90 for each month, if you divided it up by what we've gotten. I know when the city agreed to do it, I don't think I was here either, but I remember hearing about it, that it's because it was something for the citizens of Vernon to do, to give them something to do.
And at first, there was quite a few people, but I don't think it's that many people now.
So maybe if there was 20 or 30 people going, there would be a lot more, money coming in from her, but
I don't think she has that many people.
Well, it not be, my problem with it is, and I think other citizens would feel the same way, they're having to pay one set amount to rent it for a day. It's a for-profit, what's going on out there, and it's just a random, it's not even a set amount every quarter, it's just whatever she donates.
Yeah, we need to have a set amount every month for her to pay if she wants to keep using it.
So let's just think about that.
What days does she come?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
That's what I said. Well, then she has a problem if somebody else wants to rent it. You know that. She doesn't like to, but it's like, I'm having Zoom. We have Zumba. Well, if somebody wants to rent it for that time, and you're not really paying, I don't see how she can really do that, but she does,
The last time somebody wanted it, I moved them over to the gymnasium. So-
And that's not right.
And they,
That's not right.
not the citizen, I moved Zumba over to the gymnasium that
Okay.
night. But you can't do that during, basketball season anyway.
Well, everybody would like to be able to use a room and start something up like that. It's not a personal matter. I, for one, I don't even believe that I know the lady that's doing it. But the numbers don't add up in the city. It's
And this is
just,
how long it's been
we're
going on?
hemorrhaging money out
It's
there.
been going on a long time. It's over
Since
2
before I
years.
got
I
here.
know, it's been about 5 years and so it's been going a long time.
And, when the renovations are done out there, as far as the AC and the power and all, I'm assuming that will go down, but it is still not fair to everybody else that that's going on the way that it is. Not set up the way that it is, just, here.
Well, she had some
dispatch
problems
for 3
too
months.
she had problems with the food bank. Remember, they had some problem with the food bank. And that's something to benefit the citizens here in Vernon, and they were supposed to come before the council, but they didn't come before the council about that the food bank.
Does anybody have an amount or to charge?
8 days a month she uses it.
She probably, I'm estimating she probably doesn't get $200 a month in donations from the people that use it. I don't know, that's her business, I'm just,
Well, that's an awful big,
everybody puts in what they can put in.
that's an awful big building anyway for that. I mean, she could probably go, but she don't wanna pay rent nowhere, I guess, but she could go to a lower place maybe. Or she could see about a big church or something like that, at that place, you know.
I'm not comfortable with setting a price for the community center for somebody else to use. That's not the same as what we charge everybody else to use. I don't think it's fair. Especially when this is a for-profit, whether there's a profit being made or not, it's not the city's responsibility to cover the power.
Power, air, water. Yeah, maybe, flat rate per day.
How long should you use it a day?
I don't know.
They start at 6 and they're done by 7:30 or 8, so they probably start setting up about 5:30,
So you
They're
use
done.
2 hours a day?
I'd say.
Sound like me, she got too big a place to rent.
That's what I'm saying, the place, and there's not that many people anymore. Cause I know some people that were coming, but they don't come anymore.
And when you're using it right now, you have to push the ACs to do everything they can to keep it at 80.
But
And
they
it's gonna be
complain
that way
about
until
it.
it's renovated.
Well, what are they gonna do when they start the renovation?
They're gonna have to go somewhere else
You're gonna
anyway.
have to go somewhere else anyway.
They're looking, I don't know if it'll start after the first of the year, but they told me probably plan on not renting it out to anybody on the books after December for next year. So you got around 4 months or so left that we, you know, that it's usable.
There's no, I think I've asked this before, there's no written agreement, there's no contract.
Not that I
agreement.
have come across. Do you remember of one?
No, I think it's just,
I don't think there is a written agreement.
no, I think they just, we thought it was something that benefit the community at the time, yeah. Cause there was quite a few women coming, but then, you know, stopped.
Well, and there have been occasions when, you know, council has let the community center be used for certain things.
Like funerals and
Yeah,
stuff like that,
but
we
not
do.
for profit. Not unless it's, you know, rec or something to do with the city. And it just, in my opinion, it's just, it's a waste of money for the lights and the air to be on like that, when otherwise, they're off if the building's not being rented. Until, right before people rent it, they come in and turn it on.
The, power bills for this whole complex, you wanna call it, the city hall, gym, gymnasium, community center, everything out here, there's 2 bills, and you're looking at between $3,000 to $4,000 a month in power bills for this complex. Which is really costing the city a lot of money because what do we actually have going? I mean, just the offices, we turn this on a couple times a month.
That's it.
You've got WIC that uses the building once a month. No. Council on Aging uses it every Tuesday for 4 hours, maybe, but I come,
But you.
me or Carolyn
anyway,
unlock the door, turn on the heat or the air, and turn it off when they leave, so it runs 4 times a month for
Is there
about 4 hours.
Is there a room like this that they could use, or?
They're using it, that room over there.
The Zumba people, I don't think it's big enough.
Well, how many people they got?
Well, they spread out over that whole community center in there.
Ain't never been anyway.
I mean, I don't see you going more than 3 steps over, but I don't know.
They're not that big, then.
And do you want anybody?
They said it's not big enough in the past when you
What,
know,
one
when
of
I had
these
spoken
rooms?
with them. But we are using a lot of power for a little bit of utilized space. I don't mean them, I'm just talking about the whole,
Maybe we just.
it's a little overboard, really.
Called
You
up,
know, those kind of power bills for what we,
called up Power, asked them to do an energy audit. They'll do it.
Maybe you need to get a grant money and build us a new city hall.
You know, they offered that in the beginning. You knew they didn't ever wanna buy this.
I know, it's too big.
No, they didn't wanna buy it, they wanted to build one, but the citizen, I guess, decided to do this.
Right.
They was gonna build it by the firehouse.
Right.
Okay, we all just, y'all keep that situation in mind down there as we move forward with the budget and our workshop and meeting. We need to come up with a solution.
And Candace, you said that we don't have enough grant money for that road now.
well, that's my opinion based on the numbers that the engineer has given us. He said that it's gonna go out for bid the end of August, he hopes. It'll be Wells 1, 2, and Church Street. Then we would actually know how
What we
much,
have to
how
do.
much money is there and what we would have, but the problem is we'd have to have budget approved,
Before
but
that,
have the hearings approved before then. And I know that the citizens of Church Street have been promised, you know, a road, so that is something to consider.
We need a road.
What we could do,
could you make something
put an
tentative?
amendment or an addendum to the budget if we ended up having to take out one.
You can amend the budget.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
amend the budget later. Just playing, if you had a regular, I think there's programs that we can get a lower interest rate
No.
on. But I don't think you wanna pay for 50 years on a
Road.
road that you're gonna have to resurface in a few years. So, I don't know, it may be $2,000 a month, you know,
Well, so we need to wait and see what's left, is that what you're saying?
which would be the end of, well, I really, if it goes out for bid the end of August, we're looking at in October before we know the numbers. There'll be something to start it,
Yeah, but it won't be enough. to
but
finish.
there's no way it's enough to finish it.
And we really don't know what all actually has to be done to Wells 1 and 2. It may
Right,
not
until
be as
those
bad
are
as
out
we
for
think,
bid.
hopefully. So, but we still gonna have to wait and see.
But if this right here on Yellow Jacket, from the corner right here to down there, is 170 whatever $1,000,
You know.
we're at 800,000 easy.
Very easy. From where they
Church
talk
Street.
about Mississippi, back there, all the way around. Yeah, it's a long ways.
Right, right, equipment.
I've applied every year, or the past 2 years, for the MSCOT grant, just as what Yellow Jacket Drive is getting paid with. But even if we didn't get approved last year, even if we get approved this year, the one for Yellow Jacket Drive was approved in September 2021,
That's what I'm saying.
and they're about to start paving it, so you would still be 3 years. So,
And they're not gonna hear that again.
But if you did get approved, you'd probably go to the bank and borrow money. and then-
That's what we were saying, we might have to get a loan to do it. Because they're gonna come after us, I'm tell you that now, if we don't.
What you just said.
well, not really, because of the way they take the invoices during the cycle of actual,
Yeah.
the
that's what
actual
I'm saying.
grant, work from when they release the funds. So I don't think they would go backwards on it.
Is there anything else on here, Candace, that you had?
I just need to know what y'all want me to change or up or lower, you know, so we can get a more final to put before the citizens at the first hearing.
So you added the rentals in there, or you just
I only
added
added
the gym?
$1,000 for that one.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a place to start for
The other
anything else.
two. Well, the Zuma is gonna have to pay the rent,
There,
huh? You're gonna have to pay the rent, you wanna use it, that's all. Given the option, you pay the rent, or either you can vacate it. I mean, we don't have any, they don't have any kind of a lease or anything anyway. I mean, we can't keep doing that, we don't have the money.
I think it's just gonna have to go to a normal rental. I mean, we've
That's what I
had people
said.
that rented it for 4 or 5 hours, we've had people that rented it for 2 hours,
You
we've
still
had,
gotta pay it.
and however long they have it, you can't have it more than, not even 24 hours, 200. So, I don't see any way if we do it any other way than that, then we're compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
And the church uses it for both.
There is a church that pays to use it. They do it on Sundays sometimes, maybe
Oh, yeah.
once or twice a quarter, but they pay the full price.
And make them, make her pay.
Is it trying to make a bid? Yeah.
I mean, they don't do one, if you ain't gonna do the other. You can get people in there, so you get on down the road.
So it was approved in December of 2018. I mean, it's understandable that circumstances will change.
Yeah.
6 years.
And that's a pretty good run for
Yeah.
6 years, pretty good deal.
So that would be just, if she continues to rent it, then
It
she'll
was,
pay the full price. She'll have to pay $400.
yeah, it was approved. I pulled the agenda.
So put it on the agenda to be voted on. At our next regular meeting,
So that would be $400 a month.
that would be every time she rented it, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Unless
more
y'all
than
wanted
that.
to give a discount, cause it's $200 a time.
Well, she's been renting it that way for 6
She
years.
uses it twice a week,
Hmm.
except for the Thursday of Thanksgiving. You know, on Thanksgiving Day when Lonnie does the pre-Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
the rest of the time they use it.
Well, my thing is, that she's been getting quite a discount for 6 years. She's been paying.
She must have been given, and the agreement was, she got the first 3 months for free. And then she was supposed to give half of her donations, and whatever she got, yeah, it was supposed to go to the city every month.
Usually I get a check maybe for the quarter, and I don't get one every month, but I think we got one in, I don't have it in front of me. It was either December or January, and then May or June, it equaled around $550 that. So it was like 5 or 6 months for. And that probably is 50% of what she's getting, because people are just doing it, they're just giving her, they may give her $1 or $10, you know, I
Well,
don't
she should
know, they
charge
put it in a
people.
box.
If she's
So-
doing it for profits, then she needs to charge people. If they're coming there to do that, then she needs to charge
I
them.
pay a water bill every month, pay a light bill every month.
Just
Gotta
put it
pay
on.
everything.
You gotta pay that.
Has anybody got anything that they see needs to be changed or added, or so far? I mean, this isn't the only meeting we're gonna have on this, but
Candace, that big loan we have, how much is it a month? Quarter,
The SRF,
SRF.
it's twice a year, and there's 3 different payments, but it's around 30,000 with the 3 together, twice a year, so around 60,000 a year.
You'll set up a meeting between me and that rural water man.
Okay, well, I gotta find the new one, because
Okay.
The only other thing, the ARPA, we're still waiting on those funds, but not the ARPA. The FERDAP grant for the Sportsplex, we're waiting to be reimbursed for that. It's time to apply for another one. If we want to apply at the track, Michelle has to get the title work, which she needs a survey, right?
Have the title work, I need a survey.
She needs a survey, because we don't have the appropriate 30-year title. So we have to have a survey. I know y'all have to vote for that, but if that's something y'all ever want to fix the track back there,
Got to have it done.
we've got to have a survey.
I'd like to get the track, tennis court. 'Cause you
Oh,
could
that's
take
the other thing.
Track, tennis court, basketball court, you could actually turn that little grass spot into like a small football field.
Well, that's what they use to practice
see,
on
but
it.
you could have like a small field built there, like half the field.
And we could get grants, but we just gotta get this paperwork squared away first.
So, but the United States Tennis Association, we had a meeting a couple weeks ago because the council had told Lori Simmons with the high school that they would be in favor of the tennis courts going out there if she could get funds to build them. So she's really been going through all the channels, and the Tennis Association called, a couple weeks ago was a Zoom meeting with a lot of people. And they were talking about maybe 6 or 8 courts. I did throw in pickleball, even though I wasn't the favorite person when I said that to this tennis association. But I just was asking if we could also have lines on those tennis courts for that after the fact. Of course, they said yeah, but they were looking at 6 to 8. If we did that in the middle of the track, it would take up all the room, and you wouldn't have for Pee Wee and DFC and all the
So
people
that
that.
grant was just for tennis courts?
But the property where the dirt has been,
Mm-hmm.
there's enough space there, and the city owns that for tennis courts.
Just be able to get the dirt moved.
So, in that survey then, I need the area parceled out that would be subject to the grant. And then I need a survey of the entirety of the property, because
Okay.
y'all didn't get title work back when you accepted the property. So, that the land that you currently occupy doesn't align with legal description that the title company found. That's the issue, which the Board of Education had held this property since the 1800s and had just expanded, kind of like with the cemetery, it went beyond what was originally given. So what I need a survey of is what we are actually occupying today.
But I need to know if that's an option to go on the other side of the track, you know, where the big oak trees and all are. Because if you take up, you could do 4 tennis courts there in the middle, because you've got 2, and you would rebuild those, and then 2 more. You could do 4, there's enough space, but then you lose all the rest of the space if you go 6 courts, because it's 60 by 120.
I would rather get a grant and redo the courts that are there now, and if we add them to.
Well, and the
It's not
National
affecting
Tennis
track.
Association is one talking about paying for the courts. But when I have the next meeting with them or Zoom call with them and Lori, and it was the school board and everybody in it, I want to be able to say, hey, well, let's look at this property right here, because, and you could do 6 or 8 or whatever.
And we talked about before wanting grants for the track, wanting to fix this side of the pavement where people walk when it rains. You're waiting. We talked about putting up benches, lighting, playground.
Yeah.
Recreation uses for the little football players, they use
That
part
would
of
be a
that out there
perfect
now.
place.
And T-ball too
Yeah.
uses it to
So
practice.
I wouldn't wanna see it eat up with tennis courts.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Do
No
something
one
else.
plays tennis at all, period.
Well, they was gonna use it for the high school, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, but for the
Yeah, but
tennis
you-
association to do it, it has to be a community. It can't just be for the high school. It has to be open to the community.
I
But
think,
there's space beside it. There's space beside the track.
For that big hunk of dirt.
Yes, ma'am.
I think the best thing there, and this is just me, you add another field, redo, because all the kids live here, and we got parks all over Vernon, but that's not where the kids live. The kids live here. Fix a basketball court, fix tennis court, I guess. And then you turn that little spot into a football field for the kids. A little 50-yard field. It don't have to be I mean, it's already there.
Are you taking the track away?
Redo the track too.
Oh,
No, he's talking about this,
oh, that part over
that
there.
part that they use now.
Okay.
Because, I mean, no one's gonna play tennis.
Call Ron and see how much he's gonna charge the survey and put it on the agenda next meeting.
Yeah.
The man that's been doing the surveys.
Because I mean, this is just me. We play softball down there. If you had another field here, you can get a lot more money for leagues. You don't have to play down there anymore. I don't know.
Well, everybody has talked, several different sets of council members have talked about utilizing that track to upgrade it and
It could
let
be
it be
nice.
for the community, because the majority of the kids that we have
They
do
live
live
here.
on this
They
side
live
of
here.
79.
They don't live at Shady Grove and they don't live down by the high school.
No.
There ain't no kids around Shady Grove. No kids,
So,
that's all
and we've
old
got, it's
people
such a
out
great
there.
space, I mean.
Yeah, old
It just
people.
needs to be fixed and some things added to it. So if you put that on the agenda, we get that going so she can get what she needs to get it. We can start applying.
They use it
If
for
there's
birthday,
any way
you
we
know,
can go ahead and get that one
artists and
done.
stuff. I see them.
It could be nice.
I'll call him tomorrow and see how far out he is on survey.
Artists and stuff, but
That'd
that's.
be good.
It could be a lot.
Yeah, cause it's gonna
Yeah.
close like in 2
Got
months.
more shade
For this
everywhere
grant cycle.
Where?
Do we possibly need to vote on
They
that?
do, they
Or do we have to-
they use it a lot in the
Is
summertime.
that-
No, if he charges the same as he's been charging me.
Candace,
So I just see if we
who was
go.
on the Zoom call from the school board, but
So who was on the, Luke Cleveland was on. I think she told me she had invited the high school principal, Luke Cleveland, and there was 2 men from over towards Crestview that way that have done these before, and then the United States Tennis Association director, and then Lori, and then myself. And, I don't believe the high school principal came on ever, but Lou did.
So when is our next?
So we have a regular workshop next week, and we don't really have anything for that workshop, the
Good.
5th. 5th. So we can do budget workshop then, because a hearing is different. The hearing has to be advertised and all that. The workshops don't. But if y'all don't have a lot of changes, we can nail this down at the next workshop, and then we can go to
Yeah.
a hearing. Yeah.
That's
So
good.
we still gonna have the meeting at 5:30 there, the budget workshop. It's still
Yes,
gonna be-
ma'am.
Okay.
Now, okay, so I should know the amount for the old fire department. I'm not adding anything in for that, because I feel like that'll be, if that's, I feel like Zumba is probably not gonna be a go when they're told regular fee every time. And, so I won't add anything in for that, but is it okay to send her a message or call her and just say this is what they're looking at? And then, I didn't wanna overstep that, and, so when I find out the numbers for the old fire department, I'll go ahead and add that in to the new numbers. On the payroll, is this acceptable? That's everybody staying
But they got,
at what they have right now. And then changing to which y'all have to vote on it, but changing to the 35 on-call rate. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
You got anything else? Does anybody else have anything tonight? If you don't, can I have a motion to adjourn?
make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Discussion? All in favor? Meeting adjourned.